Okay, we're going to do some multiplying of decimals just now, and there's a couple of examples here. Just want to remind you about when we're doing calculations, not so much about doing it in your head, it's about how you can write things down. So if the example says 2.53 multiplied by 7, I'd really like to see, oops, let's try and get the right pen for a start. I'd really like to see you set it as a calculation like this, 2.53, put the 7 underneath, multiplied by 7. If you've got squared paper, that would be good. If you don't, just try your best to make sure that you keep the digits. The kind of 7 should go under the 3 here. Now, at the moment, all we're doing is multiplying a decimal number by a whole number. So we can treat it as though we're doing 253 times 7. Just have to remember that that decimal point will also appear in our answer. We can go ahead and put it in right under the decimal point, or you can wait and see. I'm going to take it away just now because I also want you can use a bit of common sense here. 7 multiplied by 3 is 21, so we'll put a 1 down and carry the 2, no matter where you put your 2. 7 multiplied by 5 is 35, plus the 2 is 37. I'm going to put the 7 there and put a 3 carry. And 7 multiplied by 2 is 14, plus 3 is 17. Now, we know that the answer is not 1771. We do know that 2.53 is just over 2. So 7 times 2 is 14. So we're looking to put a decimal point somewhere that's going to give us an answer just over 14. So the answer to that would be clearly 17 something. So the decimal point goes right there. But of course, another way, when you're dealing with a decimal times a whole number, the decimal point will go straight underneath where the other one was. If you ever noticed that that decimal point is straight down there. 17.71. Okay, now the second example still requires multiplication, but we don't necessarily get told that. It says calculate the area of the rectangle, and I wanted to remind you of that because we haven't really done much of that yet in our class, but you've maybe come across it before. The area of a rectangle is its length multiplied by its breadth, the distance along the way multiplied by the distance up and down. So I want you, if you come, there is an example like that, but anytime there's a word problem, I would like you to actually explain what the problem is, show your calculation. And in this case here, we can say that the area, I'm just going to go ahead and write down the formula, area equals L for length multiplied by B for breadth. And that would be, the length is 15.8 and multiplied by 6. Now, I might be able to do this in my head. Notice that we've got a wee kind of a couple of lines going on here. Now, I don't want to actually do the multiplication right in the calculation there. So I'm actually going to do it at the side. Okay, I'm going to change the colour. So I'm going to do a little calculation for my own sake. 15.8 multiplied by 6 at the side. Because all of a sudden this calculation is not the full answer, it's just helping me get the answer. So there's my 50.6. 6 times 8 is 48. Is a 4. 6 multiplied by 5 is 30, plus the 4 is 34. Carry the 3. And 6 multiplied by 1 is 6. Add the 3 is 9. Okay, so where does the decimal point go? Well, 15.8, there's a decimal point there. It's straight underneath. It's going to be the 94.8. So my answer, I'm going to rewrite it 94.8. Now, remember that in story problems, if there's words in the question, there should be words in your answer. So I've used the word area. And as you know, there's often units of measure. It could be centimetres or pounds. In this case, the area of measure is square centimetres. Okay. So some of the worked examples don't involve that. They involve you just doing other types of multiplication, but in each case try and show you're working as you go along. So here's a couple of examples. Try as best as you can to show you're working. Don't try and do it all in your head, please. Okay, on you go with that.